Hi guys, it's Ness. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Vanessa and I love to talk about books. It is truly another stunningly glorious sunny day in lockdown. This is the nicest April that I've ever known weather-wise. And you know, I feel like someone is testing us. I also can't wait for this lockdown to be over so I can get my Canon 6D fixed and I can actually have some decent quality footage to upload on here, but for now I am making do with an old and grainy camera, which really sucks because I look so white and drawn out when actually I don't look like this at all. It does nothing for my self-confidence. Do you like my rainbow shelves, by the way? I think this is the first time I've featured them in an actual video. I did make a video showing my progress of doing this. I absolutely love it. I'm going to keep it. I didn't think I was going to keep it, but I really, truly love it and I can't wait for you to see it on the Canon. Today I am the most eager beaver ever because I swear to God, I know this video is so early, but I have received some top quality book mail recently and I absolutely cannot wait to get round to these books. So I am scrapping off all my reading plans for April and diving straight into some of my most anticipated reads ever. I have honestly never anticipated some books like this in my life. So April is finished. We are now starting May and a fantastic reading month. So the first book that I'm going to read, and the reason why I cancelled all of my reading plans, is The Evolution. This is the sequel to Eve of Man, which came out 2 years ago, which I read 2 years ago, and I've been waiting for this book ever since. This is the most anticipated release for me this year. I really hope that it lives up to the first book, which I absolutely loved. It's one of my favourite books of all time because it was just such a fun read. I am rereading it in anticipation of reading this one. I have 50 pages left, so after I filmed this I'm going to go finish them 50 pages and then start on this straight away. I am a little bit concerned because it does seem like half the size as the first book, so I'm hoping that the same amount of love and effort was put into this. The Fletchers are really busy people, so I really hope that this did have the same amount of love put into it. If you haven't read Eve of Man is an absolutely fantastic YA fantasy book. It's set in the future. There's a crisis threatening humanity. A baby girl hasn't been born in 50 years. After a 50-year drought of baby girls, where all women have aged into elderly women, a woman does give birth to a girl and she's called Eve, and she lives in the top of a tower for her own protection, and they are awaiting her 16th year of age so that they can find her a mate and they can try and repopulate the human race. Eve's only interaction is with a very elderly woman who she calls a mother, and they take over this motherly role of raising her and looking after her and keeping her safe. Because Earth isn't what it was. This is actually set in London, and London is now flooded. There's chaos outside. There's just a bunch of men really who are just letting the world go to shit. Eve's only friend is a projection who is a female character that has aged up with her, named Holly, and Holly is piloted by a series of boys who grow up as well alongside Eve and become her friends. She's never met any of these boys, but they know each other inside and out. They are really Eve's friends, even though to Eve they are females. And she becomes incredibly attached to one of these versions of Holly, which she recognises as being different to the rest of them. And they've grown up together and they formed a friendship, and it's time for her to find a potential partner for life where she can make babies with, but she doesn't like any of them. She likes him, who is also her to her. Things start to go wrong and that's where the adventure starts. It's left on the biggest cliffhanger ever, and I'm really hoping that as soon as we go straight into this one, the adventure picks back up, because it did take a little while to start while they were doing world building. So maybe that's why this one appears to be shorter than the first one, because there's no necessary world building and it's just full of adventure. So that's my hope anyway. I have truly never looked forward to a book more than this, and I filmed my unboxing of this, which you can see in my last video, where I'd had a little bit of wine and I was very incredibly emotional about getting this book. It is a signed copy though, and it was bought by my best friend Rebecca. I'll leave her channel in the comments as usual. This is absolutely like the best gift someone could have ever given me, ever. But that wasn't where the excitement stopped in regards to book gifts from Rebecca, because she then gifted me my second most anticipated read of this year, and that is the beautiful Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. Honestly, this is one of the most beautiful book covers that I've ever seen. This would make such a beautiful poster or a beautiful tattoo. I do want to start off this one with a little disclaimer though. Me and Sarah J Maas books haven't always seen eye to eye in the past. I did read the Throne of Glass series from quite early on. I thought the first book was okay and the second book was one of the best books that I'd ever read, but from there the series just went slowly downhill. I didn't actually finish the series, and I did read A Court of Thorns and Roses and didn't like that at all. And I didn't expect that I'd ever pick up another Sarah J Maas book. However, this one is a new adult fantasy, and I truly think there is a serious lack of literature outside of new adult contemporary romance, so I'm happy that we're getting something a bit different and that someone's actually wrote a fantasy. As well as Eve of Man, this was one of the books where ending 2019 and going into 2020, I knew that I wanted to read as soon as it came out, but I just never got around to actually pre-ordering it for some reason, and I never thought about buying it when it initially came out. So the fact that Rebecca also ordered this one for me, I'm over the moon. House of Earth and Blood is the first in an expected series. I don't know too much about it because I really want to go into this as blind as possible because I don't want to put myself off it, given the history that I have with Sarah J Maas books. I know that it involves the main character and her best friend is murdered and she's trying to find her murderer. The neighbour that keeps staring at me is now doing it again, but has come out of her house to stare at me from her doorstep. Why is someone filming a YouTube video so entertaining? Okay, I just opened the cover for the first time and oh my god. If this book is 5 stars for me, I'm 100% getting that tattooed on my back. That is absolutely stunning. Anyway, back to the summary. So the main character's best friend dies and she's trying to find out who murdered her. I know that this book involves all kinds of fantasy creatures like demons and fallen angels, and quite a lot of sex. You know, it's new adult, not young adult. So this isn't aimed at teenagers per se. I'm 26, but I haven't actually read that many books with explicit content, so I'm wondering how this is going to go because, you know, I'm the biggest cringe person ever, but I have my big girl pants on and I'm prepared to read it. So again, thank you so much, Rebecca, for buying me the 2 most anticipated books that were coming out in this year. Once I've read them, I'm gonna be so disappointed for the rest of the year because there's nothing else that I'm looking forward to coming out. Oh wait, that's a lie. The Curator by M.W. Craven, which is a 3rd book in the crime series that I recommended a couple of videos ago. Fantastic, would 100% check out the 1st book, which is The Puppet Show, and the 2nd book, which is Black Summer. So some little recommendations for you there. The next books, which I've had not very long, but I'm also dying to get around to, is Volume 1 and Volume 2 in the Heartstopper series. These are, again, signed editions. And they are part of an LGBT comic series about 2 boys that meet and fall in love. Again, there's quite a big lack of comics surrounding LGBT romance, so I'm really looking forward to getting around to reading these. I'll hopefully pick them up after the last 2. I don't think they'll take very long to read because they don't have a lot of words in there, but I'm hoping that these will fulfill the fun, light-hearted romance that I'm looking for at the moment. And if I do enjoy these, I'm going to be tweeting Alice Osmond to write a female romance story because, again, not enough of that. The next book that I'm dying to get around to reading, and I got it for Christmas. Again, I think I got this off Rebecca. I swear to God, I've bought most of these books myself. She just buys me the good ones. Is Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. This is book 2 in the Sci-Fi series. I never know if I'm saying that right. This is a young adult fantasy series. I do also have book 3, which I'm hoping to also get around to reading soon. I absolutely loved the first book. I loved the concept. It was so different, and it was the first book that I'd read by Neil Shusterman. It's a futuristic world where natural death no longer exists. You can only be actually killed if you are chosen to be killed. But they don't call it killed, they call it gleamed, I think. Professional scythes are like a Grim Reaper character. They are the people who are going and doing the actual killing, and they need to do this to keep population numbers under control. The way that they pick who to glean is chosen from a range of factors, although it does seem that it varies between scythes how they decide they want to kill. There are actually corrupt scythes who don't follow the professional protocol that they are supposed to. The first book introduces two main characters who are teenagers. They don't know each other, but they are taken on as apprentices for an older, well-known scythe. However, they are told that in order to complete their training, they must kill each other and only one of them will become a professional scythe. And it has so many plot twists that it just is such a fun read. I would highly recommend it for anyone who's looking to read something fun and light. It sounds really serious, but it's not. It's a really fun read. The next book which I'm highly anticipating reading is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I picked this up recently at a secondhand bookstore. I'd never intended to actually buy it, but once I bought it, a lot of people give me recommendations for it. Part of a pretty old YA series. This was written in 2014. Red Rising is a young adult fantasy set again in a very futuristic world. Our main character is Darrow and he lives on the interior of Mars and he's working to actually gather the materials that are needed to create a habitable surface of Mars. They think that they're working towards the future. However, he does discover that people are already living on the surface of Mars and they have been for a few generations. They see themselves as goals and they believe that they are the elite in society and that Darrow is part of the Reds, who are sort of like a slave class. And Darrow goes on a mission to try and take down the gold from the interior of Mars. I haven't read that many YA books by male authors. I do really love Patrick Ness and I do love Neil Shusterman after reading the Scythe series, so I'm looking forward to picking up another book by a male YA author. They seem very few and far between, but when I do read their books, I think they're absolutely fantastic. Not to generalise, but they seem less focused on romance and more focused on adventure, which I think is just a nice change. And the final book that is also one of my most anticipated reads of this year, but I do expect to read a lot more than this, is Children of Virtue and Vengeance. This is book 2 in the Children of Blood and Bone series, which is a YA fantasy book that I read last year and I really enjoyed. This is YA fantasy world that draws on inspiration from Africa and African culture, and that in itself really drew me towards this series because again I thought it was a fresh take on YA. This book has a really complex magic system. Our main character is part of a culture of mages. However, the king who presides over the empire decides that magic needs to be banned and tries to kill off all the women of magical ability. I do believe only women have magical abilities in this. I don't believe that men have them. And women are marked out as being mages because they have white hair and white eyes. With the help of the princess, who has escaped from the castle, the main character and her brother and the princess go on a journey to try and bring magic back to the kingdom of Arisha. But there is so many twists and turns in the plot. Just when you think that this would be a great place for the book to end because so much has already happened, it keeps on going, and I really did enjoy it. And so again, another series that I would highly recommend picking up if you're looking for a fun read. So that is it for the books that I'm really anticipating getting around to reading. I truly believe that this could be my best reading month of all time, because I've never been so excited for books to be out right now. And I really hope that they live up to the expectation of the first book or what I'm expecting from the series that they've started. But I do truly think that I can probably read a little bit more than this because I am so eager to read them that I'll probably fly through them. And because these are really anticipated, I will be doing reviews for each of these books to see if they live up to the hype or the expectation that I have for them. So thank you so much for watching. I'm now going to go and finish Eve of Man so I can start reading the Eve Illusion tonight. I hope everyone is staying safe and let me know in the comments of what you are reading at the moment, because I might need some more inspiration for books that I'm highly anticipating coming out this year. And let me know what you're looking forward to being released this year and what month it's being released in, so I can add it to my Goodreads to be read, which already consists of over 700 books. As if I need more. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!